Ever since Anime Strike came into the anime scene, there have been constant videos bashing the service, and it really fueled the debate on pirating anime. Now, this isn't a new topic, but with Anime Strike's terrible service, extremely high paywall, and they give me exclusive rights to many big name seasonal anime titles, such as Made in Abyss, Hoseki no Kunai, Inuyashiki, and Skun's Wish, just to name a few. This ignited a wildfire in the anime community, discussing whether or not you should support Anime Strike in hopes the service would improve and Amazon would invest more time and money into the service, or if you should just pirate the anime as to vote with your wallets and show Amazon that they would have to listen to the consumers' feedback and change their service. This is a very complicated topic with no right answer, but today I'm going to be discussing when I think it's okay to pirate anime and when I think you should pay for anime. First, let's talk about the availability of seasonal anime to stream. No legal anime streaming site has every single title available on their platform. For seasonal anime, companies such as Crunchyroll, Netflix, and HIDIVE all compete with each other to get the rights to simulcast the new seasonal anime. They are all trying to get as many anime titles as possible and to try to cater to a wide range of tastes in the anime community in order to get more people to buy into their service. Since there are so many new animes airing each season, the companies must plan their budget to both get as many anime as possible, as well as try to get some of the big name titles for the season. Since no company has the budget to outpay all the others for every single new anime, the result is that they are split up between the different sites. Should you pay the monthly fee to each of these streaming sites so you can access all the new anime airing this season? Well, that depends. One concern is money. Paying for multiple subscriptions can add up. Looking at the prices for three of the big legal streaming sites, Crunchyroll is about $7 a month, Netflix is about $11 a month, and HIDIVE is currently $4 a month, but its price will likely go up once it gets out of beta. Spending a minimum of $22 a month to watch anime is quite a lot, and it's definitely not in the budget for the average anime viewer. Most anime viewers are teenagers or young adults, and for the people in that age range, a good portion of them can't afford to pay $22 a month to watch anime. When I was in college, my budget for spending on personal goods was about $75 a month. This budget included things for personal enjoyment such as eating out, going out to bars with friends, getting new clothing, buying new games, and streaming subscriptions to name a few. So as you can see, I couldn't afford all these streaming subscriptions, and so I had to limit myself to just one. At first, it was Netflix, and I'd watch anime on Crunchyroll with ads if the show was available, and I had the patience to wait a week for the new episode. Daisuke, which at the time was a small legal streaming site, or Sail the Seven Seas if it was on Funimation or another site, or if I was really into a show and I couldn't wait a week to watch the next episode. Eventually, I did switch over to Crunchyroll because I ended up watching more shows on there than on Netflix. But even then, many shows I wanted to watch were not on Crunchyroll at the time, such as A Boring World Where the Concepts of Dirty Jokes Don't Exist, and Danganronpa 3, and I really want to watch the latest episodes of them. I could not afford both a Crunchyroll and Funimation subscription, so I sailed the seven seas for those shows. This brings me to my first conclusion that I think it's perfectly okay to pirate shows if the subscription services are out of your budget. However, I do believe that you should still support the industry when you can. For me, I did watch some of the shows on Crunchyroll with ads before I started paying for monthly subscriptions. I bought official anime related merch such as t-shirts when shopping for clothing. Even though I couldn't pay for the subscription services each month, I still supported the industry when I could, and I think people should too. If there's a show that you are just semi interested in and can wait an extra week to watch the newest shows, watch it in a legal streaming site with ads. I do agree with people that pirating anime is okay if money is the main concern for you. However, if you are in a position like me where you have a job and your personal budget is big enough where you can afford to get these subscription services, then you should do so if the only concern you have is money. Right now, my budget is big enough where I can afford both Crunchyroll and Netflix, and I do choose to pay for both of the subscription services each month, and I think the service they provide is pretty good. However, what if the service being provided is bad? This is my second point I would like to discuss, which is what if the service being provided or the business practice is terrible. A great example of this was with the anime strike. The first problem with anime strike was its insanely high paywall. You needed to have Amazon Prime to even pay to access Anime Strike, which is $6 a month on top of the already $10 a month for Amazon Prime. This insane price for a streaming service that had a relatively small library is crazy and terrible business practice. They lost out on so many customers because of this high paywall, and it would have made much more sense for non-Prime users to be able to purchase Anime Strike subscriptions. On top of the high monthly prices, Amazon Strike did a terrible job keeping up with the simulcast exclusives they were doing. Many times, episodes would have been put out days after they were supposed to, and the subtitles at times were terrible. They never gave a reason as to why episodes were put out so late and had zero communication with the community. In cases like this, I believe it is perfectly okay to pirate anime. If people were constantly to sub to Anime Strike, they would have think that what they were doing was fine, since they would have been making money, and as long as their numbers were going up, they would have continued on with their terrible ways. The anime community was constantly trying to make their concerns known to Anime Strike by tweeting at them, making videos discussing the problems, and contacting their customer support, but the company ignored us, so we voted with our wallets. This eventually led to Amazon Strike shutting down earlier this winter, and now other companies such as Crunchyroll are getting these titles. Another example of bad service is how Netflix doesn't simulcast seasonal anime. One of the big attractions to seasonal anime is how the community watches the shows at the same time each week and go on to discuss the show and make memes about them. People talk about the new shows all over Reddit, YouTube, 4chan, and this sense of being a part of a community and having new topics and conversations each week makes you feel good and is a big reason why seasonal anime has exploded in popularity recently. Now, if you can't watch the newest episodes of the newest shows, you can't be part of these conversations, which becomes a problem with the way Netflix releases seasonal anime. Netflix usually releases an anime around 6 months after it's already been casted. By then, the hype of the show has then decreased, and people wouldn't be as interested as they were whenever it was airing. Netflix needs to learn to simulcast their seasonal anime, or else people can continue to pirate the shows, because we aren't going to wait half a year to see a show that's being provided on another platform. In this case, I think people should voice their concerns to the company, and pirating anime is okay if they continue to follow this business model. That being said though, Netflix has shown attempts of improvement by starting to simulcast shows such as Violet Evergarden in some regions. If they constantly do this and continue along this path with future seasonal anime they get, we should support the business since they are listening to the community and Netflix's service is generally pretty great. Speaking of regions, I would like to briefly mention another point, which is what if the anime isn't available in your region? If the anime streaming services has the anime blocked in your country and it's available in other countries, just feel free to pirate the shows. I have nothing against people who do that. If they aren't going to provide you with what you, the customers, want in your country, and they are doing so in other countries, just go ahead and acquire the shows. Not much more to say on that, so another short point I would like to discuss is if the anime is not legally available to stream anywhere. Examples of this are older shows such as Neon Genesis Evangelion or the 1999 adaptation of Berserk. These shows aren't legally available online to stream. The only way to legally attain them is buying the DVDs from third-party sellers, since they are out of print and they don't come cheap. If you were looking to buy the Evangelion DVDs, it would cost you around $200, and there's a chance that the copy you are buying is bootleg. These shows have been out of print for a while, so even if you buy them from third-party sellers, the companies who made them and produced the shows wouldn't see any of the profit because the copies available have been already sold. You shouldn't have to pay hundreds of dollars to watch older anime that isn't available to stream, and thus is why I believe it's perfectly fine to sail the seven seas for anime that isn't available legally to stream. Now, I've talked a lot about when I think it's okay to pirate anime, so I'll outline when I think you should legally watch anime. Firstly, the anime must be legally available to stream where you live. Secondly, the price for the service must be a fair price. Finally, the service being provided must be reliable and good. If one, but ideally all of these conditions are met, you should watch anime legally on those sites, since they are actually supporting the industry and are providing a service that is fair and good. For me, both Crunchyroll and Netflix meet these three criteria, and it's the reason why I pay for those streaming services. On top of that, I also purchased Blu-rays for a series I love to further support the industry, and I just really like having the physical copy of the series. So in conclusion, there are more reasons why people should pirate anime than not. Factors such as money, the service being provided, and the availability each play a role in whether people legally watch anime or if they will just pirate it. Any single one of these factors can push people away from legally watching a show, while to get people to legally watch them, all of these factors must be met for a certain threshold for each person, and this threshold is different for each of these factors for each person. Personally, I watch anime legally whenever possible to help support the industry, but I won't go out of my way to do so. I understand why people do pirate anime, and I have no problem with the people who do so, as long as they have a decent enough reason as to why they pirate the shows. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I thank you all for watching.